Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and one of the best things you'll ever make in your own kitchen. Today, we're gonna show you how to make buttermilk fried chicken that is so good, it'll make even the Colonel say, dang! And once we show you a few simple tricks, it's easier than most people think.
Stick with us and we'll show you how.
I love fried chicken. How about you, buddy?
I love it.
We get to show you how to make restaurant quality fried chicken at home in just a few simple steps that will take away any fear or trepidation of frying in your own home. By the end of our time together, you will have 4 skills to make the perfect fried chicken. We're gonna show you how to properly pick the right cut of chicken that's going to have the best outcome for you at home. We're gonna show you how to properly brine the chicken so that way you have the juiciest fried chicken. We'll show you how to properly create a seasoned flour for dredging your chicken to build the structure that you need for the perfect crust. And then we're also going to show you how to properly fry this chicken so that way it turns out golden, crispy, and delicious every single time. So Xander, you ready to get in the kitchen?
Yep.
We're going to go wash our hands. We're going to secure our cutting board. We're going to meet you there.
See ya.
So the first step in properly frying the perfect piece of fried chicken is actually choosing the right piece of chicken to fry. So we all know that chicken has a number of different parts available to us, and they are all actually friable. Xander, can you clue us in on a few of the pieces of chicken that we might be able to fry?
We got wings, we got thighs, we got legs, we got breast.
Today, we're going to actually fry chicken thighs. These are my favorite to fry. They are the most forgiving because they are dark meat. They offer a little bit more juice and intermuscular fat that's gonna give us an opportunity to not only make the juiciest fried chicken, but give us a little bit of wiggle room while we're frying at home, especially if you're not familiar with doing that. So for us personally, we choose to use boneless, skinless chicken. If we left the bone in and the skin on, it would take much longer to fry. We run the risk of overcooking. It is a longer process. And if we leave the skin on too, the breading tends to want to slough off. It is completely fine to fry with all of those things. However, for the easiest, simplest, and most consistent outcome, we're gonna go boneless and skinless. Now that we have the proper piece of chicken chosen, we're gonna move to our next step, the brine. Brining is the process of taking meat and adding it into a salt and water solution. Sometimes it has a little bit of sugar in it too. This will create an environment that you can season the inside of the meat as well as the outside. In this case, instead of using salt and water, we're going to use buttermilk. Buttermilk has a higher acid in it, so it's got some tang. The acid will also help tenderize the meat, and it will add a layer of extra fat that will help with the juiciness of the final piece of fried chicken. We're going to add some seasoning to it. The brine has to have salt in it because that is what's going to season this internally and make this chicken just the best. We're gonna use buttermilk, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, some dried thyme, and our secret ingredient, Old Bay. Once all of that is mixed together, you're going to take your chicken thighs, and you're gonna drop them in gently into your buttermilk. Make sure that you stir them around so that way everything gets coated. You don't want pieces just sticking out. You wanna make sure that the thighs are opened up so they get inside and outside. Then once that is properly mixed in, we're going to lid up our container that we just mixed all of that in and put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. Brining takes some time. You wanna give this chicken the proper amount of time to sit in this brining solution to get seasoned inside and out. We're gonna move on to the next step, making our dredge.
Dad, what's a dredge?
That's a great question, Xander. Dredging is another form of breading. For our dredging station here, we're gonna grab some all-purpose flour, and then we're going to reinforce the seasoning that we put into the brine. This is where chefs continually shine in building flavor. This is why fried chicken at higher end restaurants tastes better than most of the stuff that you would make at home before this episode. We're gonna take some Old Bay, we're gonna take that onion powder, the garlic powder, a little bit more salt, and some dried thyme, mix that into our flour, and have that ready for when we pull that chicken out of the brine. Once that chicken is ready, we're going to set up our station here, working left to right. We're gonna have our brined chicken in the bowl. We're gonna have our 9x13 of our seasoned flour here, and then we're going to have a landing zone. This is a sheet tray with a piece of parchment and a resting rack.
Why is it called a landing zone? It's not like it's flying like an airplane. You're like, whoa!
Well, when you're moving as fast as we are, things are flying, and it is actually landing on this particular space. We're going to take our brined chicken, pull it out of the buttermilk. We're going to let it drip just a little bit. We don't want too much of that on there, but we do need some of it. We're going to gently put that into the flour mixture, and then we're going to coat or dredge the chicken with the flour. We're going to make sure that it's turned on both sides, give it a little press so that way it gets into all the nooks and crannies. Make sure if you are using a chicken thigh that the chicken thigh has not curled in on itself, because then you'll miss some spots. Open it up, make sure it's all properly dredged. Pick that up, give it a light shake, not trying to make a huge mess here, and then move it onto your
landing zone.
We're going to repeat the process until all of our chicken is done. Once that process is done, this is our biggest failure point for the perfect crust. The most important step in getting the perfect crust, once your chicken is dredged, is letting it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. We need that time for the liquid from the brine and the chicken to mix with the flour and activate the gluten, the protein that will create the structure that holds that crust together and onto the chicken. While that chicken is resting, we're going to move over to our stove and get onto our next step, which is properly frying your chicken. Now, we have an episode that is perfect for you here, showing you how to set up this simple Dutch oven frying station on your stove at home without any fancy equipment. We're going to link that in the description below and at the end of our episode here as well, so that way you can go check that out and we can keep moving here. Once you have your fryer station set, we're going to get our oil up to about 360 degrees. Now, we want to actually fry our chicken at 350. That is the key temperature that you're looking for, but we're going to slightly go above that, because when we start to add cold items into our fryer, that will actually drop the temperature by a few degrees. So we are preparing for and anticipating that little bit of drop due to the thermal load that we're adding to this fryer. So once that fryer temperature is up, we're going to move again left to right, and we're going to slowly fry our chicken. Key piece of advice here too is not to overcrowd your pan. If you throw 8 pieces in all at once, everything's going to stick together. That fryer is going to overflow. Everything's going to be soggy and nasty. Depending upon the size of your chicken and, again, the monitoring of your fryer temp, this will take anywhere between 10 to 12 minutes, give or take, for your chicken thighs to cook properly. You'll see the color go from light tan to nice and dark and golden. That's the first visual cue that you are pretty much ready to go. But we highly recommend that you use a probe thermometer to temp your chicken. Chicken should be cooked to at least 160 degrees to be safe and avoid any issues. We also want to make sure that we're not hammering this stuff too. If this is going up to 200 degrees internal, you're cooking it too long. So we want to probe this chicken to make sure we're right in that area. Once we've tested that, make sure we're safe. We're going to put this on our landing zone and repeat the process until all of our chicken is fried. And there you have it. You have perfectly golden, perfectly crispy, juicy, delicious, incredible fried chicken that you have made start to finish at home, making you the superhero in your home, just like we know you are. So Xander, what should we eat our fried chicken with now that we've got it made?
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Amen, brother. And if you want a recipe for those, we've got you covered. We'll link those in the description below too. This will go great with mashed potatoes, gravy, coleslaw, or even a little bit of ranch.
Ooh.
And guess what? We've got a recipe for that too. If you want all of those, go ahead and check out our library that is continuing to grow. Like and subscribe. Definitely hit the bell notification so as we do more episodes like this, as we get that fryer going again, you'll be the first to get it. And while you're there, go ahead and let us know what else you want to see us drop in that Dutch oven fryer. Some deep fried Oreos maybe, some perfect kettle chips, maybe a Twinkie, or the perfect restaurant style French fries.
Ooh.
The possibilities are endless. If you want the full list of equipment that we have used to do all of this, so you're not paying $170 to $250 for a fancy fryer, we will link all of that in the description below, as well as we are Amazon affiliates. Those links will take you over to Amazon, and at no extra cost to you, you'll be able to pick up the equipment that we used and follow along, so that way you can have that fried chicken for dinner the moment you are ready. So, Xander, till the next one. We'll see you.
Bye.
Mass-produced potatoes.